הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Kabbalat Shabbat. Shalom Park, guests, friends, and neighbors. We continue on page 2. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose and meaning. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this Shabbat fulfills its promise to us. Shiru Ladonai, come let us sing joyously a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. I will sing unto God a new song. Page 4. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam lo'o. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth be glad. Let the seas roar and all within it thunder. Adonai malach tagel haaretz yismechu yim rabim. Anan v'arafel svivav tzedek umishpat machon kis'o. Light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright in heart. Exalt in Adonai, you righteous, and give thanks to God's holy name. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hish tachavu lahar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. And we get ready to greet the Sabbath bride on page 6. Ya la 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 chadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat ne Kabbalah L'chadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat ne Kabbalah la 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur chad Yishmiyanu el hamayuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem ul tiferet v'liti la 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 chadodi Likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat ne Kabbalah, L'chadodi. Likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat ne Kabbalah, la 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 la. Likrat Shabbat, L'chuvanecha, Hi makor habaracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'asa b'makshavati la 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 chadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat ne Kabbalah l'chadodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabala la 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 la. We rise as we are able, physically or spiritually, to greet the Sabbath Queen. Bo'i v'shalom, ateret bala, kam b'simcha v'sochala, toch emunei am segula. Bo'i chala la 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 chadodi likrat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabala l'chadodi likrat kala. P'nei Shabbat nekabala la 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 la. If you are on your feet, please be seated as we continue with the Psalm for Shabbat. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Tov lehodom l'Adonai u'lisameh l'shimcha elyon l'hagid baboker chasdecha ve'emunatcha balelot. Yalalai, yalalala, 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 yalala, yalalala, 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 yalala, yalalala, 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 yalala. We read on page 12, the righteous shall flourish like the palm tree, they shall thrive like the cedars of Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they shall flourish in the courts of our God. In their old age they shall still produce fruit, they are still full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, our God, in whom there is no wrong. Tzadik Adama Yifrach, Yifrach, Tzadik Adama Yifrach, Tzadik Adama Yifrach, Yifrach, Tzadik Adama Yifrach, Ka'erez belvanon yiskeh, Ka'erez belvanon yiskeh, Ka'erez belvanon yiskeh, yiskeh, Ka'erez belvanon yiskeh, Ka'erez belvanon yiskeh, Ka'erez belvanon yiskeh, yiskeh. Page 13, the call to worship. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before. Thus routine set my ways. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Uma'avir yomu mevi laila, umavdil ben yomu ben laila Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. And we take in the great love that God offers to the world Then we recite the Shema, the watchword of our faith, that God is one. And then we return that great love in the V'ahavta, page 15. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Orau mitzvot Hukim mishpatim Otanu limadata Ahalkein Adonai Eloheinu V'shochbeinu uvkumeinu Nasiach bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha Le'olam v'ed Ki hem hayenu Orech yameinu Uvahem nege Yomam v'layla V'ahavatcha tasir Mimenu l'olamim Baruch Ata Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha U'v'chol nafshecha U'v'chol me'odecha V'hayu Advarim ha'ele Asher Anochi mitzavcha Hayom al levavecha V'shinantam levanecha V'dibarta bam V'shivtecha b'veitecha Uv'lechtecha v'derech Uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam le'od al yadecha V'hayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha Uvish arecha. Middle of page 19. You shall make for yourself tzitzit on the corners of your garments throughout the ages. The tzitzit are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Out of Egypt and across the sea of reeds to the other side where we gave thanks. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norah tehilot, osef eleh, norah tehilot, osef eleh, malchutecha ra'u v'necha, b'kei hayam lifnei Moshe, ze'eli anu ve'amaru, Adonai yimloch le'lam va'ed, mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norah tehilot, osef eleh, norah tehilot, osef eleh, v'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, u'go'alo miyad hazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael. kamocha, balim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefele, nora tehilot, o sefele. Help us, God, to lie down in peace and raise us up to a life renewed. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu l'shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu l'shalom. Ushmor tzedenu, uvoenu l'chaim u'l'shalom. Ushmor tzedenu, uvoenu l'chaim u'l'shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu l'shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu l'shalom. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu l'shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu l'shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, Haparei Sukat Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael Ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 25. Our God and God of our ancestors, be blessed with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Page 26. We rise as we are able for the Hatzikadish, followed by our conversation with God, the Amidah. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Ba'almati v'rachirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechonu v'yomechon uv'chayedocho beit Yisrael Bagala uvizman kariv v'maru Amen. Yehishme Rabba mevarach le'olam olam me'almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'maru Amen. Adonai svatai tivtachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Open my lips that my mouth may declare your praises. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Umevi Goel Livnei V'Nehem L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Milchaye Metim Ata Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach Umarid Hagashem Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Novlim V'Rofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua B'nemanata L'hachayot Metim Baruch Ata Adonai Milchaye HaMetim. Blessed are you, Adonai, holy God. Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Page 33. Heaven and earth and all their beings were finished. God completed on the seventh day the work that had been done and ceased upon the seventh day from all the work that had been done. God blessed the seventh day and set it apart, for on it God had ceased from all the work that had been done, carrying out creation. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Ritzei v'Mnuchateinu, Kodshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, Sabeinu mituvecha, v'samcheinu b'yeshuatecha, v'tahel libeinu, v'tahel libeinu, le'avdecha be'emet, v'hanhilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava v'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha, v'yanuhuva Yisrael mekadeshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. We take a moment for silent prayer. Use the words from the book, the words in your heart, words in your head. Oh, say shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al V'immaru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'immaru amen. So in this week's Torah portion, we read about the golden calf and that it was built by Aaron with the gold that was brought to him by the members of the tribes of Israel. Except we're told that the women didn't bring any, and that's why we have our own holiday, Rosh Chodesh. And it's to celebrate women. So every month we have this lovely little holiday. But what happened was that the people gave up faith so quickly, and they coveted so much what they had known the free people in Egypt had. They had this golden god to worship, and so they built themselves a golden calf. So today's story has to do with what happens when you go after something that's really not meant to be yours, that you already have something wonderful, and you need sometimes to just learn to appreciate what's already there. This story comes from a book called A Coat for the Moon and Other Jewish Tales. It's written by my friend Howard Schwartz and Barbara Rush, and it's called The Rusty Plate. The king was having a birthday, and his subjects all wanted to give him a present. Some sent jewels for his crown, some sent bags of gold and silver, some sent fine cloth and embroideries, and every day hundreds of people stood in line outside the palace waiting to present their gifts to the king. In a small village far from the capital, there lived a Jew who was too poor to buy a gift. But he wanted so much to give the king a present. He looked all over his house, in the closets, in the kitchen, even under the bed, but he found nothing fit for a king. Now, he had a neighbor who was very rich, and when the neighbor saw the Jew searching everywhere, he scoffed. "What could you possibly have that's worthy to give a king?" And the very next day, the rich neighbor found a broken, rusty plate lying in the poor man's yard. "Why don't you take this old plate to the palace?" he cried in a mocking tone. "Surely it is a perfect present for the king." And when the poor Jew heard these words, his heart was filled with joy. "Yes, this will make a perfect present for the king. Why didn't I think of it myself? I will go at once." And so the poor man wrapped the plate in a piece of clean cloth and walked to the capital, so far away. And as he walked along, his heart was happy. "I'm bringing the king a special gift. I'm bringing him something of my own. Surely the king will be pleased." When at last he reached the palace, the poor Jew stood in the long line of people waiting to present their gifts. And when he finally stood before the king himself, he unwrapped the rusty plate and placed it at the king's feet. At that very moment, God looked down from heaven and saw the deed of the poor Jew. God saw how kind the man's heart was and how much he wanted to please the king. And God smiled. Then God sent Elijah the prophet down to the palace disguised as a helper to the king. And when the poor Jew unwrapped his rusty plate, Elijah pushed it under the window so that the sun shone upon it. And the plate glistened and sparkled with all the colors of the rainbow. Then Elijah turned the plate from side to side, and the rusty spots, they shone like precious diamonds. The king was amazed. "Never have I seen such a beautiful plate," he cried, jumping to his feet, and he ordered Elijah to put it on a special shelf near the window so that he could always gaze upon it. "How can I thank you, my dear man?" the king asked the poor Jew. "I know. I will give you a gift in return." And the king bade the Jew to wait outside. In a short while, the king's servant brought him a pouch with his gift inside. The poor Jew set back out for his own village and delighted that he had a present and that his present had found favor with the king. When he reached home, he opened the pouch, and to his great surprise, he found that it was filled with gold coins. The next day, the rich neighbor saw the bag of gold and was curious. "Where did you get so much gold?" The poor Jew told him what had happened at the palace. "Aha," thought the rich Jew. "If the king gave him a bag of gold for an old rusty plate, imagine what he will give me for a plate of real gold." So the man sold his jewels and his embroideries and his precious possessions, and he made a plate of solid gold. He wrapped it in silk and rode to the capital city, and he waited in line. And when at last it was his turn to stand before the king, he unwrapped his gift and placed it at the king's feet. The plate sparkled brightly. It glittered like diamonds in the sunlight. Indeed, it glistened with all the colors of the rainbow. And the king was overjoyed. "What a magnificent gift!" he cried. "My dear man, how can I ever thank you?" He paused and thought for a minute. I know," he said. "I will give you a gift in return, one more precious, more valuable than anything in the entire world." And the king whispered his instructions to the guard. Soon the rich man, too, was asked to wait outside the door. And soon after, he was handed a pouch to take home. He was so curious, so eager to see his gift, that he could hardly wait to leave the palace. And once outside in the street, he opened the pouch and reached in to pull out the most valuable gift that the king could find to give him. And that is when the rich man found himself holding his neighbor's rusty plate. So we all learn lessons from others' stories. The golden calf was not what we needed. We only needed to retain faith that Moses would return to us. Of course, eventually he does. But he breaks the tablets and has to go back up the mountain for another set. Let's do Mishaberach. We're going to do the alternate Mishaberach tonight. Hold in your hearts the names of all those that need healing. Or say them out loud or put them in the chat. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Hu Yivarech, Merached HaCholim, Elna, Rifana, Elna, Rifana, La, Elna, Rifana, Rifana, Elna Rifana La, Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana, Elna Rafana La. Please, God, heal them now. Elna Rafana, Elna Rafana La. Send those good wishes out into the city, into the state, into our country, around the world, and up into the heavens. Page 39, we rise as we are able for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tek gedula liyotzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. 41. Shehu notesh shamayim v'yoser haaretz umoshav yukarab hashamayim mima'al ushchinatu zo begavhei meromim hu Eloheinu ein od emet malkeinu efesulato kakatuv betorato v'yadata hayom ashivota elevavecha ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim b'shamayim mimal v'a'aretz mitachat ein od. Let the time not be distant, O God, when we shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. May all creatures in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'nemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol ha'aretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Mourner's Kaddish. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who have died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. At Shalom Park, we are remembering Elaine Levin, Leonard Ahrens, Pauline Snow, Irene Strachman, Bella Beinhorn, Leon Roddersman, Arthur Levenhar, Ruth Lightstone, Ruth Spiller, Benjamin Helfand, Albert Rowland, Louis Pollard, Patricia Clark, Ruth Crone, Paulina Kademia, William Hirata, Norman Carden, Julie Ackerman, Nora Rell, Marie Brunstein, Grace Wedgell, Bernice Patashnik, Arthur Gordon, Lloyd Mook, Elmer Daniels, Carmela Belvano, Patrice Levy, Nancy Shaw, Ion Herman, Frank Kromka, Leora Sarvis, Arsha Lewis, Man und Sever, Sam Pitter, Martha Gelder, Irene Prublood, Frida Goldblatt, Frida Lustig, Matvey Shipyatsky, Samuel Dahlberg, Ruthie Grossman, Walter Vason, Sandra Eisen, Rosa Baltzer, Sarah Pomerantz, and Ross Miller. If you have other names, please say their names out loud. Hold them in your hearts. Put them in the chat. Page 45. If you are currently in Shiva, first 7 days of mourning. If you are in Shloshim, the first 30 days. If you are in Shana, first year of mourning. Or if you're observing a yahrzeit, please rise as you are able, physically or spiritually, and join us in the Kaddish. If it is your habit, if it is your minhag, your tradition to rise for those who has no one to say Kaddish for them, please rise with us. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, ba'alma di v'ra chirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dachol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam ul'almei almaya, Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit ramam v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemed kudsha b'richu le'ela minko birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the one who brings peace to the heavens grant all who mourn comfort. And together we say, Amen. And we take a moment to light candles. Say Kiddush and Motzi. Let me move my candles so that I don't light anything on fire. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik neh shel Shabbat. And we do Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinhilanu Zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit Ki hu yom tehillah l'mikroi kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, Ki banu v'charta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava v'ratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. And Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. And we return to page 48. For Shalom Alechem. Let's do the upbeat one. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMalachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMalachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMalachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. May the angels follow you all week. Have a beautiful Shabbat, a lovely week, and I will see you next Kabbalat Shabbat.